In 2018, I tore my patellar tendon. I jumped up, landed awkwardly. I thought someone kicked me in the knee, and it felt horrible. I went into surgery the very next week with his group, with Dr. Heckman, and that process took me about 3 months to get back to any semblance of a regular life. I started loading it immediately as soon as I was cleared to squat. So the surgery happened in August, like early August, and then I participated in a Squat-tober that same year at about like 20% less of my 1RM for all of my percentages. So that was fun. I felt like after that Squat-tober though, after doing all of the strength training and all of the rehab, I feel like I bounced back pretty quickly. So semblance of somewhat of a normal life after that. I went snowboarding that same year, 4 months after my surgery, had no problems. Fast forward to the summer of the next year, playing basketball, I tore my opposite leg's Achilles, and I knew exactly what happened at that moment. I like stepped back, heard a pop, felt like someone stepped on my leg, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down. And again, same thing, called San Giovanni. He was like, yeah, I'm out of town, but when I get back in town, we'll go through the surgery and all of that. So had the surgery, and the surgery recovery has been so much more aggressive nowadays when it comes to the rehab. They really want you to load that tissue as soon as possible after the surgery. So let's say, it was a full rupture. So let's say this is the top of my Achilles and this is the bottom of my Achilles tendon. They basically cut them, fuse them together, and then tighten them back again. So if your normal Achilles is this is what mine looks like now. It's completely, it's a lot bigger than my opposite side. So I was walking within 4 weeks with a heel lift. I actually had to work with some of our sailors in Japan. So I was walking around Tokyo with a heel lift and 4 weeks out of surgery. So that was way better of a recovery, I would say. Now, the return to sport aspect of things was tricky because of the knee injury and the Achilles injury together. I worked with Tim for the majority of my return to sport. We did every calf raise variation you can think of, leaning against the wall with a ball, holding onto a ball, plyo, pogo jump, like everything. Tim's really good at creating a plan that comes full circle for you. And I felt like I was ready to get back into, return to sport essentially after I worked with Tim. Before that, I didn't really have very much reactiveness. I didn't really have much get up and go. If I wanted to move quickly, felt like my Achilles kind of lagged, or it wasn't like tense enough. But it was cool. It was a great experience. Yeah, so I worked in a traditional therapy clinic for a while, and what makes Old Bull different than that is usually in traditional therapy clinics and working with insurance, you can only address one thing at a time. A lot of times when it came to my sessions with Tim, it would be something that I was having issues with my knee, and it would also be something that I was having issues with my Achilles. So that dynamic and it being able to take the same allotted amount of time to be able to bounce back and forth between the two depending on what was aching me or bothering me the most that day was the best case scenario. Globally, as like a human system, we don't do anything one joint at a time, right? Like walking requires multiple joints. So should PT. Working with Dr. San Giovanni, obviously being a patient, him being a client of mine since 2014, we've partnered with a bunch of different scenarios and situations where I think he felt really comfortable with referring clients to Old Bull, but mostly because of the fact that we take that global approach to our therapy and our strength training. So, for example, if he does surgery on someone's toe, right, and they don't have full range in their toe, that can affect their ankle, it can affect their hip, it can affect their gait, and work up the system essentially. So it's a lot easier to refer to a company that is looking at the global picture as opposed to someone that's restricted by insurance or traditional PT that only looks at the spot of focus.